Noch die Ridim, Outpusttag und Mobilisaties pflegen kommen idische Kapzonim in Städtel und fordern fette Nedoves bei die Balabatim, was haben gemacht gute Geschäften. So after the fair, the trade fair, and the Easter, the Holy Week days, and the horse mobilizations, Jewish beggars used to come into the town, and they would collect large donations.
Demand, fordern. Huh? Sorry.
Fordern, okay, demand, yes. They would demand big donations from the Balabatim, who had done good business during that period. Von Zeit zu Zeit fleckt euch herabkommen an Einikel, a weiberische Rebelle, was fleckt herumfahren über der Welt in ein eigen Beidel, was ist angetrieben geworden von Ayid Balagola, was ist schon in Einwegs euch gewinn dem Rebelles Shamas. So from time to time, there would arrive, a grandchild would arrive, a grandchild of one of the illustrious Hasidic Rebbes would arrive. He was a Rebbe for women such a person used to drive around over the countryside in his own little carriage, which was driven by a Jew who was a wagon driver.
Sorry, Yankov, a Weiberish rebel is not a womanly Rebbe. You said a Rebbe for women, but a Weiberish, I think it's an adjective. He looks like that, like effeminate. No?
From what I understood from a later part of the text, he was a Rebbe for women.
That's right.
The men didn't deal with him much, but the women came to him.
I know, but also from the description of his physique, his weakness is like I thought that he was that Weiberish here, in this line would be effeminate. That's how I understood it.
Well, it's ambivalent. I think it's more that he was a rebel for the women.
Okay. Maybe he's both. Okay, sorry.
He was driven by this Jew, a wagon driver, who at the same time was acted as the rebel's secretary, Shamas. Tomit pflegen ot die einiglich verfahren zu uns in Stub, gedei abzustatten a visit beim Rov. They're always these einiglich, these grandchildren of these illustrious Hasidim used to pay a visit. They used to stop off at our house in order to pay a visit to the rabbi. That's his father. Die Mama, die misnagdische Tochter, pflegt schmeicheln über die Rebellich mit die Spodikes, größe Payes und seidene Jupitzes. Jeden am Harotzim, was pflegen sich angeben für alle Muftim und Tzadikim. So my mother, who was a Mishnagdish daughter of Misnagdim, opponents of Hasidim, used to smile at these little rebelach in their high fur hats and their big payers, sidelocks, and their silk coats. Ignorant Jews who you made out that they were wonder workers and tzaddikim and righteous, very righteous, pious people. Aber der Tate pflegt zij makarev sein, weil zij seinen meistens gewinn bnei kedoshim, einiglich von größer tzaddikim. But my father used to befriend them because they were mostly the children of holy people, the grandchildren of the great tzaddikim, the tzaddikim. Alle pflegen sie sagen, als sie stammen von Baal Shem, von Kozenitzer Magid und von Yid HaKodesh. They all used to say that they were descended from Baal Shem, from miracle workers, from Kozanich, of the Kozanich Magid, the Kozanich preacher, and from the holy Jew, who was a Hasidic Rebbe on his own. Trinkendig mit Hanoah, die Tee, mit welcher die Mama pflegt, sie mechabed sein, pflegen sie ausrechnen für mein Mammen dem gewaltigen Yiches Seiren. So, drinking and enjoying the tea that my mother gave them, offered them, they would tell my mother about the tremendous yichus, what would you call yichus? The
Pedigree?
Their wonderful pedigree. Und von Vatterszeit, von Vatterzeit, von Mutterzeit. Und 17 auf seine Geurel, was nicht Chassidim fahren zu sein. Nur sie müssen fahren zu Chassidim und herumschleppen sich auf der Welt. So they would tell his mother about the wonderful pedigree that they had from the mother's side, from the father's side, and they would sigh about their fate, that no Hasidim would come to them, but they would have to travel to the Hasidim and wander around in the world. Sie haben euch damit gehabt, eines zu einem von der Dynastie, was hat gehabt, verhabt die Melucha, die rebellische Jerusha, noch als Seiden. Und sie sind geblieben auf dem Wasser und müssen sein Navanad herumschleppen sich über der Welt. And they also complained, always complained about one of the dynasty who had grabbed the Melucha, the kingdom, the court, the Hasidic court, the inheritance of the Rebbe after Azeda, and they remained auf dem Wasser. They remained without any inheritance, and they had to wander around and go from place to place in the world. I Rov sis a mewussedike Sach, das herumschleppen sich mit dem Beidel, haben sie gesifzt. So, oh, Rabbi, it's a dishonorable, a degrading thing to have to wander around with the carriage. They sighed. Tomit, on a heim, on Weib und Kind, on kein Parnosse, is euch nicht so. Always on the road, always without a home, without a wife or child, no livelihood, with no livelihood either. Als geht rein in Ferdel und in Shamus lahabdil. Everything, all the money is spent on the horse and the assistant, lahabdil, to differentiate between the assistant and the horse. Die Shamoshim, proste Jidelach, haben sich geporret bei die heilige, ausgedarte rebische Pferdlach in Dreußen. Der langt sei hei in a Torbe und gerät mit am haorische Loschen koidischtike Reid, wie es passt für a Klei koidisch. So the assistants, who were common little people, Jews, they fussed over the holy thin rabbinic horses outside. They gave them hay in a sack, and they spoke with a common language, but with Lashon Kodesh words in it, as it was suitable for Klei Kodesh, for
clergy,
people,
clergy. Huh?
Clergy, yeah. Rebbetzin gewollt Ballen geben zu gehen, sich waschen. Hat sie gesagt, haben sie gesagt. Was auf Prost loschen hat es gemeint, als sie willen obessen. So, Rebbetzin, I would like to go and wash, they said, which in plain language meant that they wanted to eat a meal. Avada haben die Hasidim in Städtel nicht gewollt umgucken sich auf die Rebellach, die Tzadikim vom Weiber und Prostakis. So certainly the Hasidim in the town didn't want to take any notice of these little rebellach, these who were tzaddikim von Weiber, who were the pious ones of women and the Boerish people. Aber die Weiber und die Balmaloches haben gehalten von Ort die Proste Rebellech und kommen zu sei, sich Maskir sein und gekauft bei sei allerlei Chemies. Abgesprochene Kreitigzer, Teufelskoit, heilig groß, was hat sich gerufen mit dem schönen Namen Esov. But the women and the wagon drivers, they liked these simple rebellach, and they came to them to for them to they appeared before them.
I understood it as if they come to them to say for the rabbis to pray for them, like to remind Hashem about them, something like that. Because of this is what I thought, because of something that is happening later. The mask kommen zum Rebbe, maskir sein. It's to remind him of me because I need divine help.
Okay.
Could it be?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's a possibility. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So they came to them and they bought all sorts of amulets from them. Opgesprochene kruidigse. And they bought herbs that were endowed with supernatural powers. Holy grass, which they called with the beautiful name of Azov, this holy grass. Welfische Zehn, opgesprochene Bursten, Bäumel, kupperne Dryers, und noch solche Antiken. And they also bought from them whale teeth and this amber that had been endowed with supernatural powers, oil, and copper, 3 copper coins, and other such fancy things. Der Schammes der Balagola pflegt zuführen die Weiber zum Reben. Soll Menschen sei und seine Kinder. The assistant, the wagon driver, used to bring the women to the Rebbe so that he could bless her and them and their children. Fleckt sie verpacken die eingekaufte heilige Metzies und dingen sich beim Nehmen Pidjoines. And he would pack up these purchased holy bargains and haggle with them for giving gifts to the Rebbe. Idene, es kommt zweimal chai, a Prüte nicht weniger, fleckt Teinen, und mir lasst euch etwas über. In dem Schuss wird ihr geholfen werden. So, lady, you owe twice chai. That's 18, twice times 18. Not a cent less, he would complain. And I also need to have to get something out of it. And in the merit of that, you will be helped. Das Rebele fleckt Glotzen mit die Augen, machen allerlei Hawaiias und machen auf den Ort Chemies, geschrieben mit gänsener Feder und mit säuferischen Tint auf kleine Stücklich Parmet. So the Rebele would open his eyes wide and make all sorts of strange expressions and write amulets on the spot, which were written with goose feathers and with scribal tint, ink on little pieces of parchment. Und die Kameers fleckt einpacken in kleine Reuter Beitelach. Und unsogen die Chassidim und Chassidistes seiner, als sie sollen sie trocken ungehangen auf den Hals und Chas v'cholile sie nicht öffnen. So these amulets, they would pack into little red purses, and they would inform the Hasidim and the ladies, Hasidis, that they should wear these hanging around their necks, and heaven forbid that they should ever open them. Okay.
Thanks.
Rochel?
Yeah. David, Shalom Aleichem. Willst lehnen?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Aleichem
Okay.
Shalom.
Okay. Right.
Het zwischen die Jiddenes was flagging komen to the Rebelach, between the Jews that used to come to the rabbi, to the rabbis, seinen
It's the ladies, the Edenist.
Sorry, David,
Rebel.
did you say between the Jews?
The lady, the women, yeah.
I don't. Zwischen, yeah.
Zwischen
Zwischen is
Jiddenes.
between, but it is also among.
Among the.
And this is among because it's
plural.
talking about many, not zwischen is between is between two. Right? It's just that that comes from my studies of English in 6th grade.
Oh yeah.
Between is between two, yeah. So go ahead.
So these are Jewish women coming here. Seinen euch gewen Weiber von Hasidim und Lomdim. So there were wives of great scholars and Hasidic men. Die Mannen sehr pflegen sie nicht losen gehen zu die Rebelach. Aber die Weiber haben sich Beganeve reingehabt zu die Eneklag und ausgerät sich für sie sehr bittere Herzen. Now, so the husbands, their Man and Zera, their husbands used to not permit them to go to the rabbis, but the wives, they kind of snuck in, I guess, to secretly, yeah. Snuck in for their, I guess, for their grandchildren and voice good, right? I guess spoke unloaded
Confided.
what's on their heart, all the bitter things, sad stories. Yeah. I don't know a better way to translate. Always
Confided.
confided. Yeah, they are fine. Yeah, Doc. Yeah, they just spoke out everything that was on their hearts. Sie haben nicht gewollt, sein mit dem. Was Romanen seien sie maskier bei sehr große gute Jiden. They did not want to go forth with them, but their husbands were because their husbands right
Uh, they weren't satisfied with their husbands mentioning to them to the Rebbe for a blessing or a prayer. They wanted their own. They weren't satisfied with
the manas.
The yoitzes line here, I think.
Yeah, Masker. Well, how would you? Well,
we had Masker before. Masker to mention their name to the Rebbe, so he would say a brocha.
Yeah, I guess that's a good. Yeah, that's a good way to translate that. Masker. Ze hebben gewollt hebben zeer eigenem tzedochem. They wanted to have their own holy people, or tzedekam, was verstehen weiberish hearts, that understood a woman's heart. Die Weiber legen dennoch haben dem Emerson Kelek und ihre Mannen war Gläuben in Ot die Beidel Tzadikim. The wives used to I guess afterwards take their
I think they got something like they got punished. They got scolded. They got scolded by the husband.
Oh yeah. Their true portion. Yeah, their emerson halak foon. Yeah, from their husband. Believing in such things.
This is a idiomatic. They
got in trouble.
They got in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, happen them emerson halak. Yeah, that's literally word for word. It doesn't make sense, but yeah, you're right. If you put it in as an idiom, they got in trouble from their husbands. Gläuben in the Beidel Tzadikim, little these a Beidel. I guess it's like they work in like little booths or something, right? These holy people.
Yeah, it's a covered wagon.
Covered wagon. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Little a größer Hasidiste by the 8 o'clock is given 0. A great pious woman, I guess.
No, a Hasidic woman.
Hasidic woman. Yeah, Hasidic woman. By these the grandchildren was 0. That's a group of these people. The 8 o'clock. 0. Raphael Schnitt Kremers. I guess 0 was, from Raphael Schnitt Kremer. That's describing the occupation.
She was the wife of the dry goods store owner.
Yeah, Schnitt Kremers. Otti 0. A hoiche shena reita bakika yidna. This Sarah was, tall, beautiful, red-cheeked Jewish woman, hot Irman, Raphaelin, Ken Kinder nicht geboren, that she had no children with her husband, und sie pflegen ausfuhren zu aller Tzadikim und Poilin geholfen zu Ehren. and she used to travel all out everywhere, I guess, for all the great holy people, tzaddikim in Poland to help become pregnant. Zu lieb dem was die Yidden hat kein Kinder nicht gehabt. Because of this, that she didn't have any children, hat sie sich gefühlt sehr gefallen. She felt, bad about this. Felt gefallen, fallen down. Hagam, sie is gewen, nagideste. So let's put all that sentence. Hat sie she felt because that she didn't have any children. She felt bad. Hagam, by the way, she was also the wife
In
of a
this
rich
is not
person.
Hagam here is although.
Oh, by the, yeah. So in addition, even though, I guess, yeah, that's better. Hagam. I was kind of thinking like by the way or something, but although is better. Yeah, it's better. Although she was a rich person, she still felt bad because she didn't have any children. Sie hat Talmud geflammt von Busha to lieb ihr a Choreshaft, her baroness.
Yeah.
Geschämt, it's sometimes hard to read the Lotion Kodesh from here. A Choreshaft and geschämt sich Hucken Menschen in the Eugen. She always just felt, I guess, red with shame because her barrenness, and she was ashamed to look at people in the Eugen. Besonders Mannsbielen, especially men. Mannsbielen. Yeah. Shall I finish this paragraph or Emitzer? Okay, Mr.
Whatever you want.
Not sure. Let's finish the sentence. Maybe someone else can finish this longer paragraph here. When sie flecht mamisch up gilt in die Eneklak, war sehr brochas, kameas, etzas, and refuas. And she used to opgilten. How would you I just guess reward?
To shower with gifts.
The shower opgilten, yeah. To
Would it be from there? Yeah.
Well, it'd be for you reward them, I guess.
Yeah.
For all the blessings and the amulets and the advice and the remedies or whatnot she gave them. And Mr. Noch, Bill Lane and Viter, who would like to hear further.
Okay, sie hat gezittert, der Mann soll sie nicht getten, wie der Ding ist. She was always afraid that, that her husband may divorce her according to Jewish law, because according to Jewish law, you can divorce a woman if she's barren. Lange Jahren hat Raphael, ihr Mann, sie nicht gegett. For many years, Raphael, her husband, did not divorce her. Hat sie upon ihm Gemutslieb haben, die bekämpfte, schön gewichsige Jidene, und anstatt getten sie, ist mit ihr gefahren auf Snai zu allerlei Tzadikim. So, she evidently must have loved her, the delicious looking, beautiful,
tall,
gewichsige, gewichsige has to do with big,
well built, perhaps.
Yeah. And instead of divorcing her, he was traveling with her repeatedly to all kinds of rebbes. Wenn kein Sach hat nicht geholfen, haben sich Mann und Weib gegeben. When nothing was helping, The husband and wife got divorced. Beide haben geweint mit bittere Tränen beim Gatten sich. Both of them were crying with bitter tears during the divorce ceremony. Chikave ist gewesen das, was beide haben Chassene gehabt, miteinander Weib und sie miteinander Mann, und beide haben gehabt Kinder. Curious was the fact that both of them got remarried, he with another woman and she with another man, and both of them had children. Now, zwischen die Eniklach, again, among the grandchildren, hat man gewusst wegen Ort dem negidischen Vorvolk und Kinder, was haben jahrelang sich bestimmt häufig nicht gewollt getten und gerät gewesen, als wegzugeben für ein Kind. So, among those grandchildren, it was known, the story about this rich couple without kids, a rich childless couple was known. It was known that that for many years they did not want to get divorced and were willing to give away anything to have a child. Und die Rebelach pflegen kemat bloß zu lieb sehr aufkommen in unser Städtel. And the Rebelach came on almost only because of them to our Städtel. Cyril pflegt sie zollen mit Goldstücklach, nicht mit Ken Cooper. Cyril used to pay them with pieces of gold, not pieces of copper. A viele Refoel, ihr Mann, was ist allein gefahren zu a größten guten Jiden, hat von deswegen gegeben Pidionim die kleine Rebelach. Efter werden sie etwas spoilen im Himmel. Even Refoel, her husband, who himself traveled to a big, well-known Hasidic Rebbe, he still, in spite of that, he still gave money to the small Rebelach. Maybe they could affect some kind of a movement in their situation in heaven. Einer Rebelle hat einmal mir gegeben a Matone a Kamea, a Belohnung der Fahr, was ich hab ihm gewiesen den Weg zu der Mikve. A Rebelle one time gave me a gift, a charm as a gift, a compensation for that, or a reward for that for the fact that I showed him the way to the mikveh. Soll es nicht Oystern kemol. A viele nicht zum Schlaf, hat mir angesagt. Und chas v'cholile nicht öffnen, sie sagt Zakone. You shouldn't take it off ever, even not when you go to sleep. He warned me, and God forbid you shouldn't open it. It's dangerous. Versteht sich, als wie nur der weiberische Zadik ist weg mit seinem Beil, hab ich gleich geöffnet die Kamee und übergelehnt etliche Schures von lange unverständliche Targumlosen Wörter mit fantastischen Namen von allerlei Malochim und Shedim und Ruches. It is understandable that as soon as this woman's Rebbe left with his carriage, I right away opened the charm and read a few lines of words, it's unclear words. Targum Loshen is Velt.
In Aramaic. In Aramaic.
Aramaic. Targum Loshen is Aramaic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Mit fantastischen Namen, okay, with fantastic names of all kinds of angels and ghosts and spirits. Es seien euch gleich gewesen, ungeschriebene Schures von Heule, Schins, lange Nunen und Schloss Meme. So, there were written lines on Heule Schins, that's the letter Shin is, I found that Heule is bear.
Pure.
Unless,
there were lines of shins and lange
and long letter noon and Schloss Mem and the letter Mem that were like closed.
The final Mem.
So maybe a final Mem. Yeah, thank you.
Mem.
Ja. Ich hab die Kamee weggegeben Mirl Moshe Mendels, mein Chaver Nossens Mutter, von wo sie ist gewaltig glücklich. So I gave this charm to Mirl, the wife of Moshe Mendel, the mother of my friend Nathan, and that made her extremely happy. Komm mal euch zu uns ins Sod, was wir haben gedungen beim Galach, hat sie gesagt. Wirst dort können essen Äpfel und Pflaumen, wie viel noch du wirst wählen. Mein Nossen ist dort euch da. So come out to our orchard that we are renting from the priest, she said. So you will be able to eat apples and plums as much as you want. And my Nathan is also there. Ich hab mich nicht gelost beten und pfleg oft wegen zum Galachzot, was Moshe Mendel hat ihm gedungen, kemat jeden Sommer und gehad a Chazoke auf ihm. So I did not let her ask me too much. I didn't let her ask me too much. And I would often go to the priest's orchard that Moshe Mendel rented almost every summer and had like a seniority ownership. Had a right to it, a right to rent it. How else would you translate chazoke?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooit meer
I've seen
pflegen
it-
nicht.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I've seen it used like property rights, like
Yeah, but
Mhm.
this is, it's not, but he didn't have a right to ownership, but just to rent it. It's,
Mhm.
ja. Ooit meer pflegen nicht fahren auf Sommer zum Seidenpfleg. Ich oft herausgehen zu die Seder-Arumstellen. And if we did not go for the summer to my grandfather, I would often go out to the orchards around the town. Okay, you want to continue, someone? Janke.
Okay. Gleich noch Pesach pflegen Teil Lenchiner Jiden weggehen zu die schreinische goyische Seder-Besitzer und obdingen die Frucht, was die Bäumer wollen bringen. So immediately after Pesach, some of the Jews of Linchin would go to the neighboring Gentile orchards owners, and they would lease the fruit which the trees would produce. Gedungen hat man die Seder auf blind, abschätzendig die Fruchten Leut die geblitten. So they would they would lease the orchards blind without knowing how much they were going to produce, estimating the fruit according to the blossoms. Ob die Wetteren seien gewinn gut und wären haben nicht reingehabt in die Peiris, hat man abgespart etliche 100 Gulden auf den Winter. So if the weather was good and the worms didn't attack the fruit, they could save several 100 Gulden for the winter. Ob das geritten ist gewinn schlecht, ist man a reus onrewig für a schweren Sommerarbeit und einmal a viele mit chesek. So if the harvest was poor, they would come out without any profit for after a hard summer's work, labor. And sometimes they would even emerge with losses. Bei uns in Stub pflegen zu lieb dem oft vorkommen den Teires zwischen Jiden, was einer dem anderen hat beschuldigt in Ausgaben von ihm sein Porz oder Galach, auf wem hat Chazoka. Sorry? At our house, there would frequently there would be cases between Jews where one of them accused the other one of snatching from him his nobleman or priest with whom he had the preemption of a claim to rent it. Mein Vater pflegt Musseren die, was haben overgewinn auf der Aveira von Hasagas Gevul. So my father used to reprimand them for transgressing the sin of overstepping the mark. Die Sodovnikus pflegen euch losen schreiben star Mechiris bei mein Vater, in welche sie haben verkauft ihre Seder zu Schmidt, dem Shabbosgoy. So the fruit, the orchard sellers also used to write deeds of sale with my father, in which they would sell, in inverted commas, their orchard to Mr. Schmidt, the Shabbosgoy. Azoi as Schicksals sollen megen Shabbos reißen Obst in sei, so that the Gentile women would be able to pick fruit on Shabbos in those orchards that had been rented by the Jews from the Galach or the Poritz. Wie nur die Peiris haben genommen sich beweisen auf die Beimer, pflegen die Sadovnikes sich rausziehen in die Seder rein. So as soon as the fruit began to appear on the trees, these Sadovnikus, these people who had rented the orchard, would go out into the orchards. Inmitten Sod fleckt Steiner Buddha. In the middle of the orchard, there a hut stood, gemacht von a streuenem Dach, was men hat weggestellt auf der Abdreld. So there was this hut which was made, which had a straw roof, which they had set up on the ground. In Ort der Buddha hat man reingestellt die Betten, aufgehangen dem Talis-Sack auf ein Schwock, und man hat in ihr abgewohnt etliche Chadoshim, bis man hat herabgenommen die letzten Fruchten von die Beimer. So in this hut, they would place the beds, and they would hang up their talus bag on a nail, and they would live there for several months until they had picked the last of the fruit from the trees. Gekocht hat man in Dreußen auf a Steier. A Scheiter. They would cook outside on a campfire. Chotsch, Chassidim und schöne Jiden haben sich nicht vernommen mit Halten Seder, hat aber Moshe Mendel Katzev, was hat sich gerieben zwischen Chassidim, ja gedungen jeder Sommer als Sod. Even though the Chassidim and Hasidic Jews didn't take part in keeping these orchards, nevertheless, Moshe Mendel, the butcher, who liked to mingle among the Hasidim, he did rent each summer, he rented an orchard. Hat gemusst suchen Parnossa für sein volle Stubessers. He had to look for a livelihood to support his full house of people of eaters. Und für mir hat sich angeheben a glückliche Zeit. And for me, this began a very happy time. Ich pflege obliegen mit Nossenen in die Seder, essen Frucht von die Bäumer, helfen reißen Karschen, packen Frucht in Keuschen und in Fesslach, was man viert kann waschen auf dem Markt. So I used to spend a lot of time with Nossen in the orchard, eating fruit straight from the tree. I would help to pick cherries and to pack fruit in baskets and in little barrels, which they would take to the market in Warsaw. Schöner noch wie die Tag seinen Gewinn, die Oventen in Seder. Even nicer than the days were the evenings in the orchard. Moshe Mendels Ingelach pflegen herumgehen, halten wach gegen Ganovim, pfeifen und schreien mit echodike Keules. Moshe Mendels boys would go around and they would keep guard against thieves. They would whistle and shout with echoing voices. Friedel und ihre Chavertes, was haben sich ungedungen in sehr Sod zu reißen Obst, haben gesungen in der sammetschwarzen Nacht sehr benkendicke Liebelieder. So Friedel and her friends who rented their orchard to pick fruit, they sang in the velvet black night. They sang their longing love songs. Von Himmel seinen Sternen gefallen. There were shooting stars in the heavens. Feierlich haben geblitzt von dorfische Chatkes. Hint haben gebildet. So the little fires flickered from the village huts. Dogs barked. Ich bin übergewältigt von Glück, sitzendig in Galachs großen Sod. So I was beside myself. I was overpowered with joy, sitting in the priest's big orchard. Ich hab bloß nicht gewollt kuschen dem Galachs Hand, wie die Kinder von die Sadovnikes haben es gemusst tun. Und ich hab sich behalten in a Winkel jedes Mal, wenn der Galach hat sich bewiesen in sein lang schwarz Kleid, über welchen meschende Zelem ist gehangen. So I certainly didn't want to kiss the priest's hand as the children of the people who rented the orchards had to do.
So that Jewish kids had to kiss the hand of the priest.
Right, yes.
Ja.
And I would hide in a corner each time when the priest appeared in his long black clothing, over which a brass cross was hanging. Oft fleckt noch een gallig nog geil a fette lachendike goya. Often a large laughing Gentile woman would follow the priest. Das ist gewinn sein Dienst oder die Gospodini, wie man hat sie gerufen. That this woman was the servant of the priest or the Gospodini, which is the lady of the house, as they called her. Nossen hat mir erzählt gar nicht kein schöne Sachen wegen Ot der fette Goye, was wohnt in ein Haus mit dem katholischen Porisch, was Tor kein Weib nicht haben. Nossen used to tell me not very nice stories about this fat Gentile woman who lived in the same house as the Catholic recluse who was not allowed to marry. Als ich pfleg schon zu viel absitzen in Moshe Mendels Sod, pfleg ich weggehen zu mein Chaver Herschel Johannessen Schneiders, was hat euch gewohnt in a Sod in a Norton Dorf. So when I had enough sitting, got tired of sitting in Moshe Mendel's orchard, I used to go away to my friend Herschel Johannessen, this tailor's son, who also lived in an orchard in a nearby village. Zusammen mit mir pflegt euch a rauskommen Joel, a Engel, was sein Vater hat gehabt, I a besomim gewelbel, I is gewinn a geleser. Together with me, we would also come with me a kid whose father had a spice shop, and in addition he was also a glazer. Joel pflegt mitbringen volle Käschenes mit Zuckerleckerlich in der Form von menschlich und förderlich, was pflegt a rausschleppen vom Vaters Gewölbe. So Joel used to bring with him full pockets of little sugar cakes in the form of little people and little horses, which he would bring out of his father's stall. Und Sticker Kit, mit welcher sein Vater, der Gläser, pflegt verkitteven Scheiben. And also he would bring little pieces of putty, which his father, the glazer, would use to fasten the panes of glass with this putty. Ich habe von dem Kit ausgeknoten allerlei Menschen und Behemoths und Chayas. And I would shape all sorts of little figures, animals, cows and animals from the putty. Wir haben euch zu knoten Leim und uns gearbeitet a Welt mit Golems. We would also mold clay, and we would fashion all sorts of figures. In seine Augenlöcher hat man reingesetzt Jukes und Moshe Rabbeinim's Kielach. So in their eyes, sockets, they would, we would put beetles and ladybugs. Ich hab teuer bezahlt für meine Schoen in die Seder. I paid very dearly for the hours that I spent in the orchards. Ergens noch wie mein Vaters Musser, ärger noch wie mein Vaters Musser, seinen Gewinn die harbe und logische Strafreit von meiner Mutter der Fahr, was ich bin kein Leid nicht, und es wird äußern wachsen von mir an Itchele Schmul Panjes. So, worse than my father's reprimand were my mother's severe logical punishment talk that my mother gave because I wasn't behaving properly, and I would grow up this is it's an Itchele Shmuel Panyas. Panyas is a Russian, a Jewish boy who is more Russian than Jewish. I think that's what it means.
A goy, and not a Jew.
Ja. Okay. Aber alle Strophen seinen Wert gewinnt, für die lichtige und gute Tag in die Seder. Für die schwarze, sametene Nacht. But all of these punishments were worth it because of the bright and beautiful days in the orchards. The black velvet nights, ausgehofften mit Millionen Sternen, und in welcher ich hab der Field dem Sod von Welt, Leben und Existenz, in which spread out were the millions of stars in this velvet sky, in which I felt the secret of the world, of life, and of existence.